Hello, this is Eric Bartle, founder of SodWare Technologies. I'm going to be doing several videos here in order to kind of explain the app, go over the different aspects of it. I'll walk through each of these menus and explain them all, and just give you little tips and tricks on each and everything here. But this first video is going to be getting you started. The first thing you have to do to get your farm set up, and that's going to start right here in the home menu at the very top left corner here. You're going to go open up the app settings menu. This first one, you want to click sod type and price settings. And here you're going to have a list of all your crop types here. Select your first one, crop type, and you'll select from this list here. If there's something not listed in here, just let me know, and I will add that into your list here. And we can take out the ones that you don't use here. And for this, we're going to use St. Augustine, and let's call it Bitter Blue. Here's your price level settings. You don't have to set these up now. You can come back and do them later, but these will be what you are able to add for your customers there. And this is based off of square foot. So you add in, say, 25 cents a foot for your regular price level A, price level B. And you'll be able to set your customers up later, and I'll show you that in here as well in a later video. But maybe here at the end, you may, price level F, you may do 50 cents for, say, a homeowner or a retail customer here. And taxable, this just allows you to choose the option whether it's taxable or not in general. And then also there'll be taxable accounts on individual customers as well. So certain customers can be tax exempt as well. Here you're going to have the crop color, and this will show up on the maps. Later on you'll see as you set up your fields. You'll have a Google Earth map that will show pin colors of every field you have, and these will coordinate with the varieties. So that's where you're going to select that here. Say for bitter blue, let's call it blue. Percentage of annual sales. This is how much you expect to sell in the total year. And whenever you're doing these, you will want all varieties to add up to 100%. Say for bitter blue, you expect to sell 20% of all sales to be bitter blue. Your average square foot per acre, here you can change, different varieties. They have different amounts generally. So I know it's a 43,560 per acre, but generally floor tam, and then they're saying Augustine varieties where you're leaving ribbons, you're going to get 32,000. So you pick whatever you guys like to work with best there. Here's your average expected months to your next harvest ready. This is some other dates that I'll go over later, and it'll be important in the app itself later. This will be basically where you start out with ribbons, sprigs, seed, whatever it is you're doing to start a new field. Floor tam down here where we're at is generally going to be about 12-month cycle between ribbon to harvesting again. Here you can set in your limiters, and this is if you have to do nutrient application reports. This will give you your limiter to allow you to start warning you, I guess, whenever you start reaching those limits there. And different varieties are going to be different things. You'll have to know what you're going to do there. I think for a lot of the St. Augustine where I'm at, it's about 280 pounds of N. RP is, I think somewhere around 150, 160. I can't remember. And I don't know, I think it's only 60 pounds or something like that. But anyways, you put them in here however you want. And I don't think potassium we regulate, but you can put whatever you want in there. So that's how you set up each crop, and you want to do that for every variety that you have on your farm. Alright, after you finished up setting up all your crop types here, crop varieties, and then you want to go click on your home menu next. Come here, come to field inventory menu, select there, select your field info, and here you'll see a bunch of action buttons. This one allows you to add the new field, and you'll see other action buttons sitting across the top, these blue buttons like this, and they'll have different shapes and things in there. And then also buttons here you'll be able to use. We'll go over and explain this throughout the app later on. But right now you're just going to click on add, and it's going to give you a new form to populate here. Here's your field name, call it the backboardy field 101. Next you'll have your GPS location. You don't have to set this up now. You can set it up on your phone later. as you drive through the fields, and you'll be able to drop a pin exactly where you're standing. Then here you can, if you're in your office, you can come click on it, and it's going to give you the crop variety first. But here's your crop variety. Here you get, that's why you had to set your varieties up first, because it's going to allow you to select through them. Automatically populates up your crop type, your crop color here. Go back up your GPS location. You can set up as your satellite. You can drag this guy around and just drop it right in the middle of the field somewhere, on the end somewhere, and just within the boundaries of that field. Then you're going to set field acres. It's a 5-acre field. And then here's your original plant date. This is when you originally plug planted, sprig planted, seeded the field. And this may matter more in some varieties that aren't, seeded, where you're growing back in from, say, ribbons or rhizomes. A lot of times, it may be every 3 years, 5 years. You may just want to know how old that field is and when the last time you replanted it was. So you can come in here and select these as you go. And it's a good idea just to go ahead and reselect those, or set those up whenever you replant a field too. You're going to come back and change that original plant date. The start over date will be when everything starts to accumulate, and this is generally the last day or the first day after the last harvest, the last pallet was harvested. Now you can go in a little bit more. You may come back and clean up a field, and it'll start showing up in your field how much you've harvested out of that field. It'll start affecting your inventory, and you can always go back in and reset this date anytime. Doesn't totally matter, but it won't. This is what's going to start catching your fertilizer inputs, your chemical inputs, and all your counting, things like that are going to come out. It's going to base starting on this date right here. Then you have your projected harvest date, and that is generally 12 months after your start over date, or whatever you selected. So if it's a Bermuda or something like that, like it's maybe 6 months, 8 months, some places maybe 14 months. It's up to you, whatever your crop cycle looks like. Here we generally in St. Augustine will do 12 months. So it's going to start over date. We'll set this one back to, say, August of 2023, and then projected harvest date, we'll have it getting ready the 1st of August this year. And you see here it starts to populate and count your years since your original plant date, 3.6 years. So this field would be 3.6 years old. And then this is your reset month, so you know how often or how long it generally takes for that field to reset. Then you're just going to click save right here, and then you go click add and start adding every one of your fields. And after you have all your fields entered in, your screen will start to look like this. You know how many fields you have on your farm. You'll see your different columns here starting to show up now, and so your acres will automatically start to generate your total square foot for that field. Then you'll get your acres remaining. These are going to be based off of some cells that you'll have. And here's your original plant date. You can see your year since last planted. Here's your start over date, your projected harvest dates. And then here you start seeing your cells, your square foot sold for this crop. And this is based off your sales invoices. And here's your average square feet per acre. And this is your harvest section. This is what your harvest guys report. How many feet they harvested out of that field total. And this is feet per acre. Then you'll start to get an accumulation of your chemical cost, your fertilizer cost, and then here's your limiters there for your nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, if you have to keep track of that. So that's your total per acre this year. I believe you can span this out for this crop. Sorry. And then here's your year to date, starting beginning of this year, how much nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus you put out. So yeah, that's what it'll start to look like.